Hello, I'm back and it's only been a week. I'm wearing my slightly dramatic shirt. Because I'm slightly dramatic. Anyway, if you could see this area, you would think I've lost my mind. It looks like a hurricane came through because all this stuff is everywhere. I hope everyone's had a good week. Last night I went to a multi-stitchers event, and so there were a lot of people there doing a whole lot of different crafts. Some were crocheting, some were making pot holders. There was a lady making bobbin lace, and I don't know if you've ever seen that occur, but I was amazed. She had 50 bobbins and was intricately weaving them with beads and making a headdress, so it was pretty interesting. So there's a lot of talented people out there. And when we stay in our own little circle of cross stitch, we kind of miss out on some other things. So that was pretty interesting going to that event, and I was glad to have been invited. I've done some things, a few things, not a lot of things since the last time. I've been working on, well, I'll show you. Quaker Christmas. So Cindy, if you're out there, Cindy so graciously gave me this pattern after she had finished it. I think she stitched it twice. But Cindy, if you're out there, you'll be so proud because I have accomplished quite a lot. Still a ways to go. But I am so happy with the progress that I've made on a Quaker Christmas by ByGone Stitches. So that was fun. This one is fun. I just got right down to business. So I hope to continue working on that. And you know, I'm not promising that it'll be finished by this Christmas, but I'm going to continue working on it a little bit every time I have a chance. It's nice to take to retreats. So I'll probably be taking it to a retreat I'm leaving for on Wednesday. So I'm excited about that. I get to go to a retreat in Fort Walton Beach, and that's going to be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So with the ladies that I look forward to seeing, because it's a great group of women, and it's fun to sit and stitch and chat and talk about all the things, and hopefully make some plans for StitchCon, because that'll be fun. So that's Quaker Christmas. The second thing I worked on three things. One I finished. Genny Morrow Nova, and I started this, oh boy, probably 2019. And I really do like it because it has a lot of different stitches. I'm learning a lot of different things. It kind of uses the same stitches over and over again, but different, like elongated diagonal cashmere stitch and reversed cashmere stitch and Scotch stitch and reversed Scotch. So I'm learning a whole lot. Not to say I'm going to remember it. It's kind of like embroidery, where I have to look up the different embroidery stitches whenever I embroider, because I just cannot commit that to memory. That's why cross stitch is so, it's like a mindless, relaxing activity, because it's just, you just make crosses and that's all you have to do. But when you're embroidering, you have to think about what you're doing. And when they switch up those stitches on you so much that you have to look them up on the internet. So I'm not ashamed to have to do that. But I really do like the directions in Nova, because it's really not that difficult to learn them, and you know you're working in a 12 by 12 thread square, so you can't really get off that much. And so you know if it's not fitting in there, then you're doing something wrong. So I'm on block number 37, and I'll show you. And it's really interesting because I'm here, 37, and it's really neat because you use almost all of the same colors up to right here, and then it's going to switch over to add more of the pinks and peaches in here. So you kind of you get all those bobbins out and use all the same colorway, and then you get down here and it starts incorporating other colors and phasing out the blues. So I think this is going to be so cool if and when I ever finish it. Hope that you can see it. There are some really neat blocks in here, and you think it's not going to come together, but it kind of just comes together in that 12 by 12 square. It doesn't look so great on paper, but when you put the floss to the fabric, it just looks nice. And this is done, Nova is done on white mono canvas. So not your traditional linen or Aida. And that has those bigger holes so that you're able to get all those stitches in, because sometimes it's a lot of threads going into one little hole to make that stitch. But I really do enjoy this one. It takes a little bit more patience pulling all those bobbins out to get prepared for it, but I really think it's gonna come out nicely. And I love how it starts off with those light colors and goes down all the way to the bolder, darker colors. This is just really neat. It reminds me of a quilt. I've talked about it before, but it's something like kind of combining those quilting and cross stitching together. Okay, so my one finish that I worked on when my son was motocross racing this weekend is Finally a Farm Girl. I finished it. Claire's Valentine, and it's still in this project bag from where I took it to the race. He had a race this weekend, and so look how cute. Clara reminds me so much of my kitties, and it called for gray floss on this section here, and I substituted it for B5200 because my kitties all have white right there, and so I wanted it to look like my cats at home. And I just love how this little mouse, angel mouse, is dangling this heart down to the kitty. And he has a little key. So many cute little touches in this one. And I used Zweigart pastel linen in pink. This is old. I got this at some kind of sale, and it was probably a quarter, but $5.75 it was, and 25% off. So no telling how old it is, but it sure did make Clara cute. I just love Clara. So cute. So Finally a Farm Girl finished, yay! And I'd be remiss if I did not talk about my one other whip that I have going on. Well, I have more than I have more than these. These are the ones that I haven't worked on within the past 2 weeks. But this is Christmas Rules, and I worked on it a little bit last night, and almost, I finished up Give Santa Cookies and Milk, and then I started working on this one last night, so no pouting. I just love this. And thanks to my 2 friends who told me about the autumn rules, I'm going to be getting that one, purchasing it, and starting to stitch it when I finish Christmas, so that way I'll have Halloween, Christmas, and autumn. I need some winter and some spring rules so that I can put those up too. So for my FFOs, I'm going to talk about the 3rd Hobby Lobby picture finish that I got framed. And this one is Forest Snowfall by Country Cottage Needleworks. And they actually did this one straight as well. Same white frame, so this is the 3rd one of that same set that I talked about, 2 of them last week, and this one this week. And this was a sal with the Real Housewives of Cross Stitch a while ago. And so it's been in my plastic container waiting to take it to somewhere to get it framed. And I live out in nowhere land, and so Hobby Lobby is an hour from me. There are no little small frame shops within an hour of me. So it's easier for me just to take it into Hobby Lobby, let them tell me how much it's going to cost, drop it off, and go back and pick it up in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So this one was beautifully framed, straight. I'm happy with how it turned out. This is the cutest little, with all its little critters, and this is what I have out for winter. So I took down the Snowy 9 patch, and then I put this one up in its place on the shelf for winter. And in the last 2 months or so, I finished Home of the Needleworker and took it to get framed at Hobby Lobby. And this is the one that they had to take apart twice. And when I went to pick it up the 3rd time, like twice, went to pick it up when I made my 3rd trip, it was still crooked. And so I dismantled it when I got home and attempted to make it a little straighter, but as you can see, it's still not straight. And this is after my attempt at their 2 other attempts to make it. So I just don't think, I think from when it's hanging on the wall, you can't really tell that it's not quite straight, but I felt like if I left it there with them again, it was just gonna keep getting worse and worse. And so again, not trying to slam Hobby Lobby, but Hobby Lobby does a good job. It just, they didn't like this one and I didn't like it and it just didn't come together. But I love this pattern and it was fun to finish and it looks good in this color frame and I was happy with it. Otherwise, just not picking it up and seeing it completely crooked. I think they had a hard time figuring the distance between, you can see there's more distance here than here and I just don't think they got it. And I did leave them enough fabric, so that wasn't a problem. I'm just not sure what got lost in translation there. But anyway, here it is and it's finished and this is the way it's gonna be and that's all there is to it. I also want to talk about my little Porcupine pincushion finish. When I very first started cross stitching, again, after a long hiatus, I stitched Prairie Schoolers' little stick it here Porcupine from their little card. I don't know where it is right now, but I have it somewhere. Here it is. This little card. Hello, you can see it, my whole face, up close and personal. So there we go. I finished it as a flat fold and had it hanging on the front of a basket from 1803 Ohio Farm Baskets. Fabulous place to shop for baskets. And I just didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. So I deconstructed it and made it into, of course, a pincushion, which is what I should have done to start with. But I had to, this is the backing fabric. This is the side fabric. I had to purchase some filling and it comes in a gigantic, well, gigantic box. So I have enough to make way more pincushions than I could ever use in a lifetime, I think. But I just think it's so much easier, so much better as a pincushion than it was as a flat fold on the basket, even though it was cute, I think, but not as cute as this. And so that just goes to show you that if you don't like something, you can take it apart and make something else. So anyway, this is, I just think this is so cute. I really do like it. Next, so for this week's Found Stitches in the Wild, I was at the thrift store and found this cute little bird stitched in the hoop, finished in the hoop. And I really did a good job of, I think, of finishing the back. It's just a piece of some kind of sticky board. And it just looks so clean and professionally done. But anyway, I think it's so cute. I love these colors. And for probably $1, I don't even know. It was so worth it. Cute for spring. I just love finding cross stitch when some people just don't appreciate it, and that's okay because I do. And we do because we are stitchers and stitchers appreciate hard work. And some people think it's just your grandma's stuff or your great grandma, but it's really not. This would be cute in any little farmhouse or home. I think it's kind of farmhousey, but it fits in anywhere really. And I love the wood grain frame. So cute. I did have somebody ask me about my yo-yo quilt that I started a long time ago, and sadly I have been off the yo-yo wagon for a little bit between moving 2 houses and a flood and all the other things life through a hurricane. With our business, we have been extremely busy, and so I have not forgotten. I wanted to show you. This is the tub I'm working on now. There's one other tub like this. This is the tub I'm working on, and these are the fabrics that I have ready to go. And I have some big yo-yos, some smaller yo-yos, and I think that's as far, the smallest that I've gotten. I did try to do some tiny ones, but again, I'm gonna have to wait until I get all the yo-yos made before I put it together, because I'm constantly finding and buying different black and white fabric. And I don't know if you've ever shopped for black and white fabric, but it's kind of hard to find. There's either stripes or circles or flowers or dots. So it's kind of hard to find. This is a dotted fabric, more dots, stripes. And so I may have to change to add some gray into there. I don't know yet. I really do like the black and white, and I really don't want to have to add any gray, but if I'm running out of fabrics, I think gonna have to incorporate some gray in there. But this is still fun. It's still a relaxing thing to do in front of the TV watching, let's be honest, Dateline or something. But this is a cool, see how this has some gray in it. So I did add a little bit of gray, but I'm talking about just gray and white too. It's just solid. Look at these little hearts. That is adorable too. So I'm working on it. Thank you for being invested in my yo-yo quilt, just like I am. I have not forgotten, and I'm gonna get this thing made someday. Someday, I don't know when. I can't make any promises with it amongst all my other activities that I'm doing, but like I said, I could take this to a multi-stitchers event and work on it during the nighttime for those 3 hours we're there, because everybody's doing different things. So that would be fun to take. The last thing I want to talk about, I think, is my little project pouch that I take to every retreat. And I showed it a little bit last week when I was talking about the scissor keep. And I got this off the Cross Stitch Stash and Load, or Stash and Load being cross stitch only site. And I cannot tell you, it was like $20-something. Pretty cheap for the amount of quality of work that was put into it. And you'll see that this is the place where I keep my glasses right here in their little case. And then I keep my fabric Ort container. It folds up nicely. It's hard to do this with, folds up into this little pocket. I keep needles in this little magnetic case. And last night it was time to go, and they were fixing to lock up, so I just threw my scissors in here instead of putting them inside the Molly case, but it's there. And then I have 2 needle minders. And this is a little needle book that came with it. So cute. I could put these needles in there, but I have lots of needles. And then in here, I have my Gulf Coast Stitching thread keep. And I also have the 1" and 2" shows you where to start your projects from the corner, 1" or 2". So I have these in there. And whenever I was at a retreat recently, we were talking about it, and I was like, I have tried to look this up to see who made it, because I would like another one. This is kind of springy. I'd like one for autumn or winter. And I'm thinking, as much as I could figure out, this is a shop model maybe for the Etsy shop, and perhaps she used to sell them already made, but now she just sells the patterns. So I'm thinking that this was made by Rosie Taylor Crafts. I'm not certain of that, but I went in search of the directions for one like it so that I could make it myself. And of course, Rosie Taylor Crafts sells this whole descriptive patterns on how to make your own sewing case. And of course, there's different pages you can put in it. So you see this one will hold your bobbins of floss, and this one has a flat, I mean, it's so neat. So it tells you how to start the cover, and I mean, this is how thick it is, so it's not for the faint of heart. But it does have all the instructions you need in order to make the flaps and join the panels together, how you do the binding, what you'll need. It has the whole breakdown of what you'll need for the different pages if you choose which options for your book. I really do wish somebody would just let me buy one, but I don't think that's the case. So I started from the directions in here. I started to fussy cut all the squares, and I started this a while ago, and this is as far as I've gotten, but I have fussy cut these little, and fussy cut just means find a motif you like on the fabric and make your square around it. So it's not just starting at the corner and you just have to find what you like and cut it out. And these are tiny squares. But I realized that I could do this. This is not that difficult. But I love these colors. Again, I have not solved my problem of making one for winter or autumn, but I did make another one for spring. And I think that will turn out cute. So I'll let you know my progress on that. Hopefully I make better progress on that than I did on the yo-yos. But what is crafting if you don't have a lot of things going at one time? So that's that. Before I get into some mentions that I want to talk about, some Etsy shops, I would like to talk about what I'm going to try to accomplish this next week. I still need to do my Christmas ornament for the month of January. Have not done that yet. Talked about that last week. I do want to finish FFO, this little tiny Valentine pillow from Prairie Schooler, not Prairie Schooler, Primitive Hare. And I don't know if this was a freebie or if I purchased it off of her Etsy shop. But I love that her Etsy shop and her website, you can just get the PDF. So I'm an instant gratification girl. I want it when I want it. And that's sad, but it's true. And the designer still gets the money, so it's a win-win. It's a win for them and a win for me. So here's the Valentine. Cute, easy little Valentine stitch. And I'm gonna make it into a little pillow. I think it will be adorable if I get around to it. But I do have coming up, I gotta get ready for a retreat. So I don't know if I'll get it done or not, but it is adorable. And I think it will be a very cute little pillow. Whoop. Yep. Get it together. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about are the 2 Etsy shops that I want to talk about this week. And again, every time, usually, unless I say so, these people don't know me from Adam. I have talked back and forth with the first person only because I ordered some more bobbins from her. And one of them that I had bought with the first set broke. And even though it was my complete and totally my fault, she replaced it for free. And I think that was very sweet of her. I was willing to purchase it, but she said, let me handle it. And I thought that was very nice. And it's a clear bobbins from GW Stitching Depot. And I'm going to show you those in my Bisley drawer right now. And I love how it looks. It's just nice to open up that drawer and see them all so nice and neat. And I did purchase the inserts from Container Store, and I purchased the Bisley cabinet from Container Store. I think she does offer the acrylic inserts for the Bisley cabinet, but at the time when I purchased all of the bobbins from her, she did not have that at her shop. But I think she does now, so if you'll go give her a look, I will tell you, it is not a cheap endeavor, but it is worth it. The acrylic bobbins just look so much better. The floss winds on it. I'm a bobbinator, so if you're not, this is not for you, and that's okay. But I like to open them and see them. I used to keep them in those plastic cases. It just all fits so nicely in this drawer. I like how I know how many skeins fit in each container. Sometimes when they go missing because I'm using them, I might put something in its place so they just don't slide around. But I think it looks so much nicer. I'm happy with how it looks. It was worth the investment to me. It did take a long time bobbinating all my floss onto the new ones, but I have a whole complete set of DMC and I'm happy with how it turned out. And the very last Etsy shop that I want to mention is a favorite of mine. I've used them several times and the customer service is top notch. There's something on my camera. Okay, it's HM Crafters, and they sell wooden frames. And I had a lot of people ask me about them when I showed on Instagram. I showed my Halloween tree with their little frames, but they sell 1-inch frames, 2-inch frames. I want to say 2.5, maybe 3-inch frames. And they also have like little scalloped frames, and they give you the actual frame. They give you the wooden piece to back your cross-stitch fabric and the little felt backing piece just to glue on there. So It's so cute. And I finished this with one of their frames. And I also purchased from her. She does FFO, she sells her cross stitching. So this is one I purchased from her, and she stained this frame. I painted these with black and then went through just black acrylic paint and just went in and made white polka dots, but she actually stained this one and then she sells them raw like this. But I like how the edges are burnt so that it looks finished on the edges. So cute. So check them out if you need frames. Teeny tiny ones, square ones, oval ones. Check them out on Etsy. I will hope to see you in a week and a half or two because I do have a retreat next week, but it's been great being here with you, and thanks for, if you've made it to the end, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.